You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rodrance for Black and White Sports. We're going to talk about LeBron James, LeWoke James. You can grab this out of the merch store. Promo code LeBron Sucks. SUX will get you an extra 10% off. Also, we have the LaChina James shirt. LeBron says he had 2 NFL offers during the 2011 NBA lockout. Let's look into this. I saw this and I said, you know what? I actually do find this interesting. I want to make a video on it. LA Lakers superstar LeBron James, arguably one of the greatest players in the history of basketball. But when 2 NFL opportunities were presented to him during the 2011 NBA lockdown, James said he, quote, seriously considered it. During an interview with The Athletic, James said he believed he was good enough to play in the NFL, not you, the narcissist, and he had invitations from the Dallas Cowboys and Seattle Seahawks to try out for each team. If he ended up playing football, James knows exactly what would have happened. Quote, I would have made the team. Interesting. I would have tried out, but I would have made the team. One thing about it, I don't mind working for something, so if I would have had a tryout for the Cowboys or Seahawks, or I would have stayed home and went back to Cleveland, I'd have tried, but I would have made the team. I just know what I'm capable of doing on the football field, especially at that age. In case you're wondering, he was 26 years old then. James was a star wide receiver at St. Vincent St. Mary High School in Akron. He supposedly, and that's what this says, supposedly, received recruitment letters from Florida State, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Michigan, Florida, and South Carolina. Current Jacksonville Jaguars head coach Urban Meyer was a wide receivers coach at Notre Dame, and James mentioned that he tried recruiting him to be part of the Fighting Irish. Urban recruited me. I think at the time he was the wide receivers coach at Notre Dame. So yeah, I was getting recruited by all the big time schools. And as we know, he would go on and win NBA titles in 2012 and 2013 with the Heat. Look, I know I bust on LeBron pretty hard on this channel, and rightfully so. He deserves all of it. He deserves all of it for a myriad of different reasons. However, I will say this. I do not believe somebody like LeBron James can get in a boxing ring or get in an MMA octagon or ring and compete with world-class athletes in those sports. However, I will say this. There is previous precedent for basketball players, Division I college basketball players making a transition into the NFL. Generally speaking, at tight end. Okay? And do I think if LeBron James would have chosen to go to the NFL, depending on the team, would he have made the team? My gut feeling is, had he tried out for the Dallas Cowboys, come hell or high water, Jerry Jones would have made sure that LeBron made the team. Because we know that Jerry Jones is what? He is a master marketer. Absolutely. He's thinking about business. And he knows, he would have known at the time in 2011 if LeBron James made the Dallas Cowboys, okay? And look, do I think he would have been a starting tight end in the league? I know he said wide receiver, but I think more than likely you would see him at tight end, probably strictly in passing situations. I don't see him getting out there and blocking, okay? But there's quote-unquote specialists, tight end pass-catching specialists, and Do I think LeBron could learn 6 to 8 routes on a tree, run out in the end zone, turn around, post up, and catch a touchdown? Yeah, I do. I don't want to be unfair, even as much as I don't like LeBron. Is this something that I believe would have transitioned for him? Very possibly. Not a guarantee, but very possibly. It would have certainly been interesting at the time, but he would have greatly damaged his NBA legacy. But let's face it, now that we're at where we're at, he's tanked his legacy anyway due to all his social justice crap and his left-leaning crap and bringing his politics into the NBA. He's really, along with Adam Silver, they have jointly destroyed the NBA. Just look at the ratings. But back then, at the time, do I see Jerry Jones trying to make this happen? Yeah, I absolutely do. Now, no. Jerry would not want him on his team, no way, due to the negative publicity. Jerry Jones is not stupid. Also, in 2011, it should be noted, Jerry Jones was still very heavily involved with personnel. Is he involved now in personnel? Sure, Jerry is. But he largely defers to Stephen Jones now in personnel decisions, and I think Stephen Jones would have probably been like, now, or the last 3, 4, 5 years, Stephen would have been like, no, we're not doing that. 10 years ago, I could see this happening. I could. I don't want to be unfair just because I don't like LeBron as a person. I think he's despicable. But I recognize his talents as an athlete and his physicality. Don't think he could get in a specialist sport like MMA or boxing. He'd get his head knocked off. He'd get tied up in a pretzel. But in the NFL, could he run out, turn around, catch a pass in the end zone? Yeah, he could do that. He could have done that at the time. LeBron had some unbelievable speed. And like I said, there's precedent. Antonio Gates, Donald Parham that was in the XFL, now is in the NFL. Tony Gonzalez, okay? So basketball and football has had some transition there. I know it would have been a while since he had played, but do I think LeBron could have been, let's say, a 20-catch, 25-catch, 250-yard, 3-touchdown tight end, a 2 or a 3 tight end on a roster? Could he have done that? Probably. Back then, he could have done it. Tell me what you think. I find that interesting. And then somebody like Jerry Jones could have marketed the hell out of LeBron James being on his football team. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.